have no idea what's coming.
Hi, morning folks. It's 27th of March, that's Wednesday the 27th of March 2019. The link for this story will be in the description, and I'm on the Sun online. Alright, this is a story that's kind of went worldwide. Do you remember the guy, the actor? He's in a show called Empire, which I've never seen. Not heard much about it, but anyway, this guy, American actor, suddenly became a worldwide attention because apparently he was attacked on his way down to a Subway or something like that to get something to eat. He apparently was attacked by two guys who assaulted him, put a rope around his neck and poured bleach over him while shouting racist and homophobic slurs against him. And everybody, all the actors and all the film stars and all the politicians. In fact, there was a bill going through, just coincidentally, there was a bill getting put through by Kamala Harris. She's a presidential candidate, getting put through the Senate. It had failed before, and coincidentally, here's a star being lynched, and she's putting an anti-lynch bill through Parliament, as if lynching somebody isn't illegal, you know. But it's as if they're tightening up and everything, you know. I mean, everybody knows you lynch somebody, it's illegal. I mean, there was plenty of white people lynched as well as black people lynched, but I know it's a particular thing. History-wise, it's problematic because that was what a lot of the plantation owners and the people in the South, who were particularly Democrats, strangely enough, did. Anyway, so this guy, everybody was up in arms. He was on the TV telling people about what happened to him, and he was calling himself the gay Tupac, and I fought back and all that, right? Then it turns out the police, the Chicago cops, managed to track down the two guys that done it. It's a guy that works with him on the Empire. Two guys, two American Nigerian guys. They're not Nigerian, but they were, you know, they're Nigerian heritage, but they're American citizens, I believe. And they agreed to date. He paid them $3,500. The Chicago police have tracked down pictures of them buying the gear. They do the gear. The police wait for them to come back, arrest them, raid their house, find all the stuff, and the guys admit, he done it. So the police let them go. They're going to be witnesses. Then they find out 2 weeks before he'd sent himself a dodgy letter through the post with some powder in it, stating that blah blah blah, if you don't do this we're going to kill you, and etc etc. And all of this apparently was to get his wages up with his employer. So the police found out about it, charged him, and the DA, the district attorney of this particular area in Chicago or whatever, she recused herself because she knows him. Now, I'm not sure exactly what her name is, but lo and behold, he was charged with like 16 counts. And there's a federal inquiry going on with regard to the sending the mail. Right out of the blue yesterday, the DA dropped the charges. And not only did they drop the charges, they sealed the records. And so an application, so get this right, an application was made while they were dropping the charges to seal the court records, which means the evidence that the police have collected can't be released. So this here is what the police say right after it happened. They were not consulted on this, so listen to this.
This is a whitewash of justice. A grand jury could not have been clearer. Our officers did hard work, day in and day out, countless hours, working to unwind what actually happened that night. The city saw its reputation dragged through the mud. But I remind everybody, it was not just the officers' work. That work, a piece of that work, was shown to a grand jury, and they made a decision based on only a sliver of the evidence. Where is the accountability in the system? You cannot have, because of a person's position, one set of rules apply to them, and another set of rules apply to everybody else. This is not the superintendent and the detectives department word against his. And even after this whitewash, still no sense of ownership of what he's done. He says that, in fact, he is the wrong in this case. This is an unbelievable, not just whitewash of justice, this is a person now who's been let off scot-free with no sense of accountability of the moral and ethical wrong of his actions. This is a whitewash of justice.
And that's exactly what it is. Can you believe that guy? That's absolutely ridiculous. The Department of Justice in the States, the senior Department of Justice in the States should intervene here, and something should be done there. That should go to the Supreme Court in America. That man deserves to go on trial for what he did. You can't have somebody just because they're an actor and got friends. I mean, it's unbelievable that a case this with such a high profile could suddenly end like this. I mean, you imagine that was an ordinary guy, like a white guy, for instance. He would be absolutely, a white guy had done this. Say the guy that did this to him, or the two guys that did it to him, see if they were for real, they would be absolutely hounded. They would get 20 years in America. Imagine attacking him. That's what they'd say. They would say it was homophobic, it was racist. But he does it, he organises it, and the DA and the prosecutors drop the case and then seal the records. I mean, that's unheard of. Seal the records so that it can't come out. I mean, what's going on? You know? Anyway, folks, never ever go to see anything with that guy in it. That guy is a disgrace. He's a sorry excuse for a man on every single level you can imagine. He's actually a disgrace to the gay community, you know, to the black community, to men in general. He's just a sorry individual, and he actually mentioned his mother during his interview. I wouldn't be my mother's son. I mean, what the lowest of the low to bring your mother into that, you know, as some sort of validation of your character, you disgusting degenerate, right? Anyway, that's my opinion of him. You know, I'd like to get a hold of a guy like that, man. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, peace out.